Good morning, dear student. Welcome to today's GST class. In yesterday's class, we were discussing with calculation of time of supply of services. It is a continuation of the same concept, but in a different way how we can go for finding out the time of supply or point of taxation. So let us see with the fifth problem. Value of services rendered is 2,50,000. Date of issue of invoices 9/9/2016. Advance received is 2,50,000 on 15/8/2016. Balance amount received on 11/9/2016. What is the time of supply for rupees 2,50,000? So this is the information given. First, if it is only one particular information, one case information, so let us write the given information. Date of invoices 9/9/16. Actual worth of services, value of services 2,50,000. But advance we have received is advanced amount we have received. Oh, fully they have done, right? Okay. Yeah. Advance received is here. It is 50,000. Okay. It is 50,000. Yeah. Advance received is 50,000 on 15. Balance amount received is 11/9, the next month. What is the time of supply for rupees 2,50,000? So first let us write the given information. Date of invoices, we want only the dates there. Date of invoices 9/9/2016. Advance amount received is 10/8. Okay. So here balance amount received is 11/9/2016. Yeah. Advance received is, it is 15 here, supposed to be 15/8. 15/8/2016. Okay. So now we have to find out the time of supply. We have written the advance date, balance amount, right? So out of these three dates, but they have not given the date of completion of service. We are not sure when the completion of service has been done. So what we do here is, when the completion date is not given, we assume the invoice is issued within 30 days. Clear? When it is not given, we assume the invoice date as the date of issuance of invoice within the prescribed time, that is within the 30 days. Clear? So here, so please be clear. So when the date of completion of service, when it is not been given, we considered the invoice is issued within the 30 days. In that case, here part 1, part 2 is given, that is advance is part 1, balance amount is part 2. So the time of supply for advance amount received 9/9/16, 15/8/16. So the time of supply is 15/8/16. And for the balance amount received 9/9/16, 11/9/16. So 9/9/16 is your balance amount received. First I have just given you all the date. Again here the same information I have given in return. For advance amount received 50,000, time of supply shall be 15/8. Excuse me. For balance amount received 2 lakhs, time of supply shall be 9/9/16. So when this type of problem is been given, generally this type of problem only for 2 marks their question, you have to leave a note. Date of issue of invoice or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, is considered as the time of supply of service, assuming that the invoice is issued within the prescribed time. Clear? Next, the same, sixth question is also the same. So I want you all only to calculate this particular problem. It is very simple, similar to that. Okay. Value of service rendered is 6 lakhs. Date of issue of invoices 3/3/18. Advance rupees 1,50,000 received on 15/3/18. Balance amount received on 13/3/4. Find out the time of supply of service. First write the given information. Invoice 3/3, advance 15/3, balance amount 13/4. So invoice issue for part 1, that is advance 3/3/15/3. 3/3 is your time of supply. Then for remaining part 3/3/18, 13/4/18. Again here 3/3/18 is your time of supply. As the completion date is not given, we assume the invoice is issued within the prescribed time. Clear? It is similar problem. Coming with the 7th. Value of service rendered is 5 lakhs. Date of issue of invoice is 1/3/2018. Amount received is on 13/3/18. Ascertain the time of supply. So in this particular problem, here they have not given part 1, part 2. Amount it is received in one stretch. It is not like advance and the left out amount. So 5 lakhs is done payment at one stretch, at one payment. So as the completion date is not given, it is assumed that invoice is issued within 30 days of completion of service. Therefore, date of issue of invoice, amount paid, whichever is earlier, 1/3/2018, 13/3/2018. That means the time of supply of services 1/3/2018. Clear? If they would have given part 1 advance amount like that, we used to do. But here the full payment is been done. So in that way, we just go for calculating the time of supply. 8th problem is similar problem. I want you all to do the homework. Similar, just give the statement there. And coming with the next problem. See, next concept it is, not next problem, next concept. So here we will be calculating the tax. In order to calculate the tax, in the previous classes I have told you all very clearly, in order to calculate the tax payment, first we have to check what type of supply it is, whether it is intrastate supply or interstate supply. When it comes with the intrastate supply, is nothing but the transaction of goods and services are done within the state are called as intrastate supply. And when there is a intrastate supply, what type of tax will be applicable? That is intrastate supply. Any transaction which takes place within the state, at that time we go for applying CGST and SGST. Clear? It is CGST and SGST. Okay, it's okay. You can so please do adjust. So location of supply is Bangalore, place of supply is Mysore. So what is the type of transaction? It is intrastate supply. You have to be very clear. This statement, if you understand how to analyze, then it will be very easy what type of tax has to be applied. Now tax levied, how much they have given? 12%. These are the information which is given in the problem. You have to find out the location of the supplier, place of supply, type of transaction, and what is the tax levied percentage they have given. The moment when you know the type of supply, it will be easy for us to calculate. So as it is intrastate supply, CGST is applicable. CGST and SGST. And equally we go for dividing for both 6% and 6%. And what is the worth of the supply? 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs into 6%, 60,000. 10 lakhs into 6%, 60,000. So the total GST paid is 1,20,000. Out among this 1,20,000, the central will be taking 60,000, the state will be taking 60,000. Clear? So this is the taxability we calculated. Now they have asked you to write the accounting treatment. When it comes to the accounting treatment, in both the books we have to write. That is, in the books of BEML, the one who is supplying, the one who is receiving, L&T. In both the books we need to go for making an entry. So accounting treatment in the books of, in the accounts or in the books of accounts of BEML Limited. So BEML Limited is the supplier. So here who is receiving? Debit the receiver. So L&T company is receiving. How much worth of goods they have to pay? 11 lakhs 20,000. Right? In that, for what and all they are paying? To CGST payable is 60,000. To SGST is 60,000. And the sales what we are doing is 10 lakhs. So being goods sold to L&T company. This is in the books of BEML. Now in the books of L&T Limited. So what for them, all the expenses and all what and all is there, they have to go for writing. Purchases account 10 lakhs, GST payable 60 lakhs, sorry 60,000, SGST payable is 60,000. To whom they are paying all these things? Credit the giver. Who is the giver here? Bemel Limited. How much they are paying? 11,20,000. Narration: being goods purchased from Bemel Limited. So this is how the accounting treatment has to be given in both the parties' books. Clear, my dear students? Once again I'll tell you all. Here you have to be very clear in order to analyze the type of supply. Bemel Limited of Bangalore supplies worth goods of 10 lakhs to L&T Limited of Mysore, and the tax rate is 12%. Compute the taxability and accounting treatment. First you need to find out the location of supplier, that is Bangalore. It is clear. Place of supply is Mysore. So type of as the transaction is taking place within the Karnataka, the type of supply will be intrastate supply. As it is intrastate supply, CGST and SGST will be applicable, and the tax rate will be equally divided. And accounting treatment, as I told, it has been entered in both the parties' books. And next problem. Apex Limited of Hubli supplies goods worth rupees 5 lakhs to Unix Limited of KGF. So here you have to find out Hubli and KGF. Both the places in Karnataka. So what type of transaction? Intrastate transaction. When it is intrastate transaction, CGST and SGST. How much? The tax paid is 18%. When it is 18%, we divide both equally, 99%. And they have asked you to compute the taxability and accounting treatment. See, solution. Location of supplier Hubli. Place of supply 5,90,000. Actually sale we did only with, so please adjust. So place of supply is Kerala. Type of transaction is interstate supply, and tax levied is 18%. When the transaction takes place between two different states, IGST is applicable, where you don't go for dividing to the states. So 4 lakhs into 18% is 72,000 is the GST payable. Okay, and again in the same, here instead of writing CGST and SGST, we write as the IGST payable. So XYZ in the books of Karnataka ABC Limited, to whom who is receiving XYZ? How much? 4 lakhs 72. Out of that 72 is IGST. Sales is 4 lakhs, being goods sold to XYZ Limited. In the books of XYZ Limited, purchase, how much they have done? 4 lakhs. IGST payable is 72, and ABC Limited is, they have given for total 4 lakhs 72,000, right, to ABC Limited. So here you have to be very clear. I think the amount, it is not given properly, it is not typed. Actually here it should not, UT GST. UT GST is 8 lakhs into 12%, 96,000. And I want you all to pass the accounting treatment. Clear? Fourth problem. SDC Limited of Karnataka supplies goods worth of rupees 7 lakhs to FGC Limited of Pondicherry. Tax rate is 12%. Compute the taxability and accounting treatment. Karnataka, you guys are aware, SDC company. FGC Limited is Pondicherry. Pondicherry, that is Puducherry. It's nothing but the union territory. So UTGST is applicable. So I want you all to be clear with one thing, that is intrastate means what will be applicable? CGST and SG. Okay, but when it comes with the interstate, interstate, between state and union territory, at that time UT GST will be applicable. Clear? Or again, if it is between two union territory, again UT GST will be applicable. Please be very clear with this. Okay. Intrastate CGST and SGST division. Interstate IGST no division. Between state and union territory UTGST. Between two union territory UTGST. These are the tax which will be applicable when we go for calculation of the tax. Clear, my dear students? And next I'll be solving with aggregate turnover. All these things has been given. I want you all to write the theory part and the equation. In next class I'll be discussing with you all the problems related to the aggregate turnover. Okay, or it's a small concept. I'll just explain to you all. No, I'll just discuss in the next class. It will be too heavy for you all. Okay, so with this we have discussed with the type of supply on that taxation, calculation of taxation also. Okay, thank you, my dear students. Have a nice day.